Hey, what's up? Keep it simple, Stuman, family out there, youth workers doing the work. Let's talk about the hours you work. All right, so depending on whether you're full-time, bivocational, part-time, or somewhere in between, the hours you work and the schedule you keep is important. You need to know off the bat, here's the number one thing you need to know about hours is, this is not a 9-to-5 job. If you think that youth ministry is primarily 9 to 5, then you got in the wrong business. You should go work at a bank or a school or something else. It's not a 9 to 5 job. It's rarely that. In fact, I can count on maybe just two hands the amount of weeks where I've just worked 9 to 5 for 4 or 5 days in a row. It just doesn't happen that way. And it can't, because if you're in youth ministry from 9 to 5, your kids are in school. They should be. So here's some advice about hours, how to construct your schedule and your routine, and also how to balance the family stuff and your own free time, because you got to have free time or you'll go crazy. So a couple things. Office hours. This is more about your senior pastor and your staff's expectations on you. So make sure that you set your office hours up and communicate them to everyone who needs to know. That means even communicating them to students and parents. It should be on the website or on the Youth Ministry Facebook page somewhere if you've got that. Make sure people know when to expect to see you in the office. That means it might look weird. It might be Monday 8:30 to 5 and Tuesday before 10 and after 2, or just have to make it up as you go along. But make sure your senior pastor is satisfied with when he expect to walk down the hallway and find you in your office diligently working on some YouTube video. And make sure that his expectations are met first, because he is ultimately the boss, right? And you do need to spend time in the office. You need to spend time making the copies, sending the notes, doing the budget. All that kind of stuff has to happen. So office hours are important. Also, talk to him about flex hours. Maybe a couple times a month you get to go and work at the local Starbucks or whatever like that, or you get to go sit at McDonald's and take your laptop and work there. Maybe that is a good place for you to meet people and stuff like that too. All those things count as office hours and are important. The second thing to remember is that you need to communicate with your spouse or significant other your office hours as well, and when they can expect you to be working, right? Expectations are huge, and communication is a big part of that. The second part is you need to plan time to be out of the office work with students. So every other Wednesday, I'm at our local high school. I go to a local restaurant. I buy pizzas or I buy sub sandwiches or tacos, and I share them with kids, and we hang out because they have open campus. Every other Thursday, I go to a local middle school, do the same thing. Tomorrow I have a lunch meeting with some of our volunteers, different things going on like that. So I plan for those times, communicate them to our front office staff to make sure they know if I'm in the office or not. So I also plan times to be out of the office. You've got to be able to do that. Plus, you may also have programming time that you're not in the office. Our youth ministry is Sunday nights, but also it's Wednesday night life groups. And so on Wednesdays, I leave the office early. I leave about 3:30, 4 o'clock, go home, do dinner and bedtime and bath time with the family, and come back to church for 6:30. And so my office hours flex with my schedule for ministry. Remember, it's not a 9 to 5 job. Your kids aren't available 9 to 5. They're actually available 3 to 10 p.m. So you've got to be able to have some time in the evenings on the weekends for them. That being said, there should be some time when particularly you are off limits, whether it's a Friday or a Saturday, whatever. Maybe it's even just a portion of a day to start from after 12 o'clock on Friday until Saturday again. You are off limits. Your phone gets turned off. There are no emergencies. Maybe you ask one of your volunteers to be on call during that time. You rotate that around, like, hey, once a month, can you take a Friday afternoon to be on call? And you publish that to your parents and students in case anything happens. So because emergencies always happen. Now, if it's a true emergency, like you have a kid in a bad car accident or a death in the family, that's what it is. That is the job. But you need to make sure that you manage your schedule well, because you can easily burn yourself out, okay? Make sure you put time in your schedule to do shopping for events and things like that too. You shouldn't be doing shopping after 5 o'clock, right? That's part of your work schedule, so make sure you manage that really well. Make sure also that those things are managed through your front office staff or your senior pastor, that they always know where you are and that you are accountable for the time that you put in, okay? So remember, communicate your office hours and expectations very clearly to the people that you work for. Communicate them to students and parents. Remember, it's not 9 to 5. And also remember to make sure that you take some time for yourself. Okay, you cannot work an infinite amount of time, you cannot work an infinite amount of places, so make sure that you pace yourself. But again, I can't say this hard enough, do the work, put the work in. It takes time to make good graphics and to plan good events, to make good messages and things like that, but use your time wisely. In fact, it's been 5 minutes. You should quit watching this video and get back to work.